are excited today to be joined by two really very nice and engaging people. And first, I'd like to introduce you to Kathy Clifton. And Kathy is the Director of Meeting Planning for the Higher Education User Group. Hi, Kathy.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. She is a faculty associate at the Arizona State University, and she's teaching event planning and meeting planning classes, and is even the co-founder and trainer for the Meeting Planning Academy. Kathy has over 18 years of experience as a planner, and she specializes currently in contract negotiations, site selection, and holds meetings between 50 to 6,000 attendees. So I think she has a broad range of experience to speak from, and I know you'll enjoy talking with her. And also, good morning and welcome to Mark McMinn. And Mark is the Director of Sales at Team San Jose. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Terry. Hi, Kathy. Hi, everyone.
Hello. San Jose, Team San Jose is the Convention and Visitors Bureau for the San Jose area, and they also manage and operate the San Jose Convention Center and the cultural facilities in the area. And Mark also has extensive experience as a DMO and a hotel veteran with over 30 years in our industry. And interestingly enough, Mark was recently added to the faculty of the San Jose State University, teaching hospitality courses there for their trade show meetings and events department. So I am really excited about having you both today. I'm Terry Roberts. I am with DMAI, and we are the trade association for Convention and Visitors Bureaus. And we'd also like to thank our sponsor today, ePro Meeting Apps, which is powered by ePro Direct, and we are excited to have them. And I think Craig Deal, an account executive from ePro, is on, and we'll hopefully have an opportunity to talk to him at the end. We're also joined today by Elaine Rosquist and Joy Lynn from our DMAI staff, and they are managing our question board. So just a little tiny bit of housekeeping to say, if you would like to ask a question of either Kathy or Mark, we hope that you will. You can type in your question, you can raise your hand, and we will have an opportunity at the end of the webinar to hopefully get to any questions that you have. Our goal today is to help you understand the right kinds of questions that you may need to ask, and some assumptions that you may be making that are based in, maybe old paradigms, and things are changing in the industry rapidly. And we want to make sure that you're not leaving any services on the table, that you're not missing any of the power of the services that CVBs can provide to you when you are planning a destination meeting. And so many of you may have worked with a CVB in this past year. Thousands of you did, and you are familiar perhaps with how CVBs can help you with your RFP, perhaps arrange your site inspection, but that's only really a beginning or a piece of the pie. After you've selected a hotel or hotels and convention center, if that's appropriate, the breadth of services that they offer really starts to kick in. So today our opportunity is going to be to look at these services, event and off-site selection support. Everybody's interested in growing attendance and what that looks like, and how you can really tap into political and community support as you need it in regard to your meeting. And nobody is usually adverse to a little bit of PR. And with staff narrowing, we know that on-site staff services are really important to planners. So Kathy and Mark, I look forward to kind of teeing up some questions to you and having you speak from your expertise to these particular areas. So to get started, I'll first kind of reach out to Kathy and say, how do you view convention and visitors bureaus in general, and what is important to you in terms of using their services to get connected to what you're going to do in the destination outside the four walls of your hotel?
Well, first of all, working with CVBs is very important to me. I'm very happy to be part of this seminar because I'm always preaching the use of using a CVB, using them full service for anything you can. I always say that should be your first stop. So when something pops up, the first thing I'm doing is I'm on a CVB's website, or I'm calling my CVB person and asking them if they've got ideas, if they've got areas that they can direct me to, making them a partner. So they're not just another supplier I work with. They're a partner. They're an extension of my office. They're the experts in their area, and I rely on them for their expert information when I've got to find these things.
That's a pretty strong recommendation. Mark, what? I like that.
Thank you, Kathy.
No wonder we called you. Mark, I know you and Kathy have a great relationship, but your planners across the board, how do you specifically help them tap into particular areas of destination support?
Well, Terry, CVBs are set up to help planners plan and execute a meeting, and there's really two facets to what a CVB does. One is to take care of the meeting planner's needs from the preparation planning of the meeting, but it's also about the attendee experience for us, because we do care about our tourists, and convention tourists are just as important as your regular tourist that comes through. So we really take the 360 view from what it means to the planner, what it means to the attendee, and how can we help them have the best meeting possible. Because at the end of the day, you can have a great meeting, but if the attendees didn't have a good time in your community, we may have missed the point. So we want to make sure that we're covering all the bases for a planner, for a customer, to make sure that they're fully aware of everything that we have to offer, from dining and restaurants, and how to get to that park, and where can I do a team building exercise, and where do people go to run, where do my hikers and bikers need to go. So everything is available to the planner from us, because we are the destination experts.
And giving them that leverage too, right, Kathy, Mark? Because sometimes, maybe it's a restaurant that's hard to get a reservation in, but all of a sudden, your president or a very important customer decides at the last minute, they want to go there, right? So some of it is not.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When I'm going to throw out an example. I was just in Indianapolis for a conference planning meeting for a big annual conference, and we couldn't get into a restaurant, and I just picked up the phone and called my contact. Taken care of. The next thing I know, I had my reservation. So yes.
So not only about knowing what the options are, but sometimes facilitating relationships and using the buying power of the total destination to help make those good connections.
And that's an important thing. We do have connections that you, as somebody who doesn't live here, doesn't have. You don't have the knowledge that we have. You don't have the connections that we have. So allow us to do that for you. And really, I want to make a point here, and this will be carrying through the whole conversation. It's not just about your big convention. It's not just about, Kathy has a convention that's 60,000, 6,000 people, but she does meetings for 50, and those services from a CVB are important to those one hotel opportunities all the way up to a citywide using 10 hotels. So these services are available at any level, at any time, to any customer.
Great. Well, that leads us, and Mark, you kind of alluded to this, but it's attendance, right? I mean, everybody wants their meeting to be successful. They want their meeting to have a big draw. And the one thing I'm always amazed by, and Kathy, maybe you can sort of speak to this, but how many planners try to recreate the wheel with attendance promotion, ideas or tools, and those are already done, sealed, signed, and delivered through your CVB.
Exactly. I'm way too busy to reinvent the wheel each time, so I do reach out to my CVB. Biggest thing that they can do for you, easiest thing, give you access to photos that you can put on brochures, you can put on your website. I've had CVBs design an information page for me that I just link to. And this is for any size meeting. I've done this across the board. My bigger meetings, I've had them come out and do promotion for me on my trade show floor for the following year's meeting. So all these kinds of things are available to you, and definitely want to take advantage of them.
You know, Catherine makes a great point. You know, this stuff is already here. We're already, you know, we are the destination marketing organization, so we're putting our best foot forward for you all the time, and we want you to use the things that we have. We have, you know, press releases that, you know, go out on a regular basis from our community that you have access to. We have photos. We have, you know, editorial. We have copy. We have advertorial that you are welcome to have. This is all public information. You can have this stuff. You know, why would you want to sit and have your people spend all this time talking about a destination or creating what your impression of the destination is when we've already got it written somewhere? So use our resources for that. You know, cut and paste off the website. Do what you need to do to get the information that you need. Every destination has publications, whether it's a visitor's guide, whether it's a meeting planning guide, whether it's destination maps, downtown restaurants, whatever it is that you need, parks and recreation. These things are already published and they're already out there. Put them in your attendees' hands. That's why they're made. That's why we produce them, is because we want attendees to take them and go and explore and go visit. So it's our responsibility to get them out to you. Ask for them. If you need them from, you know, 6 months out for your meeting, or as Kathy said, do it the year prior. You're promoting next year's meeting at this year's meeting. Have your CVB rep come and work the booth. Put a table out in the coffee break area, receptions area. Allow us to put promotional material in your registration bags for this year's conference and say, we'll see you next year. Give us the opportunity to put an ad in your programs for this year for see you next year in, you know, the city that you've chosen. We have lots and lots of materials that you have access to. Use our website. Also, we create microsites. We do all kinds of things that we want you to come. The more people that come to your meetings is a benefit to us, to our community. So we're going to help you drive attendance.
Exactly, and also check with the CVB and see what kind of incentive programs they're running. I just did an international conference, and that CVB provided different things that I never would have gotten. It was based on the amount of attendees that were coming from overseas, but I got some free cultural things. I got some free events tossed into the mix that, had I not had the conversation with them, I may not have known that these existed, and they were great enhancements for my meeting. So definitely want to find out everything that's offered by them and take advantage of it.
So the 2 points I hear you making most loudly is, or maybe 3, don't recreate the wheel, ask the question, and then additionally that it isn't all generic, that almost everything that is provided can be customized to your attendees, to what their interests are, to what specifically about a destination. Because even, Mark, a destination like San Jose, what might appeal to you in the destination might be completely different than what would appeal to Kathy or myself.
Right. So, you know, it's our responsibility to put everything out there. We want you to have as many options as you possibly can. And the best way to do that is to give you the information so that you can make an informed decision. We want your attendees to have the best possible experience in our destinations. And the best way to do that is to give them information so they can make their decision. Not everyone is the same. Some people like museums, some people don't care. Some people would rather go to, you know, a craft brew as opposed to a chain restaurant. So we have to be able to put all that information out so your attendees can make their decision that's best for them so that they could say, I had the best time in that community, that city.
That's a great point. So tip number 3 is about the ability to enlist a political or a community liaison when you're headed to a destination. And the one thing I always hear planners consistently say, Mark, about you and all of your colleagues across destinations is that there really isn't anyone who has stronger contacts, both to the local political community, the educational community, and even, you know, the business industry in their areas. So do you want to start by speaking to specifically how a CVB can help you should you need help in these areas?
I'd be happy to. It's important to recognize that most DMOs or CVBs are funded through a entity. Usually it's a county, a state, a city. So you're already connected to the political realm by virtue of how you're funded. So there is a relationship that's inherent in working with the CVB or DMO back to their community. The city or communities that you work with want to put their best foot forward, and they understand that, you know, how we CVBs work makes, you know, the city stronger. You know, it's a great place to live, it's a great place to work, it's a great place to go to school, but it's also a great place to visit. So it's a very comprehensive view of the community. So inherently we have resources to, you know, the mayor's office, county commissioners, you know, people who sit on boards. We sit on various boards throughout the community as well. So we have a conversation, a connection that goes on all the time with our community partners. So if you need something from a city, you need a mayor to make a proclamation, you need to have, you know, a letter from the county supervisor to welcome your attendees, you want to have, depending on your meeting type, you need someone in a particular industry or a business model or mix that you want access to talk to those people, we have the ability to go to some of their public relations and marketing office and say, hey, I've got this group that's coming in that's from this industry. Can you help us make a connection to some of your board members or one of your scientists or speakers to help you, fill a slot in their speaker schedule and help drive attendance? There's a lot of things that happen politically that you sometimes need from a city. You need to close down streets. You need to you need to use parks and recs to host some of your meetings. We have access to help you get through the permitting processes too. So it's using the political machine for your advantage, but it's also using it for the pragmatic and the fundamental. I need to close down a street. I can help you do that.
And Kathy, I know you mentioned the whole realm of social responsibility programs and the connections that often destinations can provide there.
Yeah, we are very big on having community service projects giving back. And I always go back to my CVB and find out if there are any particular needs. Right now, for example, if it's heading to the East Coast, we might see what kind of relief is needed for victims of Sandy. So something tragic happens in the area we go to, we're coming there for a conference, we'll find out, are there any needs, things like that. And it doesn't need to be a